This is the video about she gave balding man surprisingly good advice. It's the chick in the car giving balding man advice, right? If you haven't seen the video, check it out. I think it's a good video. Now, here we go. Bruh says, that's bad advice to me. Isn't the whole purpose of a man to fight, conquer, and find solution? Is embracing it equivalent to accepting defeat? Mind you, he's talking about embracing baldness, right? So to me, that's a weak mentality. Letting it go, low taper / buzz cut, or whatever, and move on with your life. As men, we fight and find solutions, not accepting fate and passively waiting like women. Like your content, though. Keep going. Bro, cuss me up and say like your content, though. Keep going. I appreciate that our community here, we're not fully disrespectful, right? We all speak our mind and we end it with respect. So I appreciate that. But you got to understand, I'm still a human, so I got to address this. And it's better than me just commenting back because I want y'all to fully understand where I'm coming from. So everybody can't hop on a plane to Turkey. Moreover, it's more attractive when you just accept it. This is what a shorty says. And I clicked on their profiles or whatever. That's a guy, that's a girl. And so this is what they say, right? And I still show love and like each of the comments. Now, that being said, what had me feeling a way about this whole comment, to be all the way real with y'all, is this first one. What he says. He said, this is bad advice. Isn't the whole purpose of a man is to fight and conquer and find solutions? Is embracing it equivalent to accepting defeat? When he says that, that makes me feel like, because I agree. You got to understand, guys, like I kind of talked about it in the last comment video that I just addressed. I lived this life. I didn't just pop up and choose baldness. It chose me, and I had to embrace it. Now, on one token, I get what bro's talking about. If you look at his thing, he still shows his waves and stuff. So maybe bro's going through a balding phase and he's trying to fight it. I get that. But what I'm talking about and what Shorty's talking about in that video, she says that if you cut your hair low, like if you cut it low, it'll blend in a little bit better and it'll make you look good from the standpoint of like you won't look like you're completely balding. It'll look like you dang near chose this life, right? So from the perspective of cutting your hair low to not look like you're balding, that's not weak mentality. And he said to him, it is, right? Letting it go low taper, buzz cut or whatever and move on, that's weak mentality. We men, rah, we men. But what being a man is about, because there's different layers of it. Now, being a man is for one about being confident. And that's with anybody, but with the man, it shows a little bit different. With with women as well, but with men, it shows different. So for one, it's about being confident. For two, it's about making decisions that you feel that are best for your overall well-being, not being caught in the moment. And as men, the biggest thing is we have to get the step in. We have to know when to pivot, right? So what this means is if you're a man out there, and I'm going to explain what I meant by this, what I believe Shorty meant by this, and I'll address why I think he came off a little too strong with saying this week. What Shorty is literally saying, and what I'm saying, is that as men, if you look in the mirror and you're feeling like your balding is causing you to not be confident or causing you to want to wear a hat or causing you to feel like you can't show up as your best self, then what can help you is if you decided to cut your hair lower, because it won't look a hot mess, to be just transparent with you. It won't look a hot mess. Because sometimes as men, when you're going through a balding phase, you're going to do everything to keep your hair. Even if that everything means that you're showing up and you're looking wild from the perspective of you got hair on the side of you, but you ain't got no hair in the middle. Or you got a hairline right here, but no hair in the back. Or you got hair right here and a big old bald spot in the back look like a pancake that you think nobody can see, but everybody sees it. That's not being strong. That's not being strong. Holding on to something that's clearly you need to let go to be able to fully be confident and show up as your best self. That's not being strong. To me, if anything, that's being a little bit more emotionally driven, which is men, we're not emotionally driven, right? To show strength as men, we have to balance our excitement and our vision with practicality so that we can really make it come to life. So if you hold on when you got a big old bald spot in the back of your head, or a bald spot up in here, you got a hairline shaped out, or your hairline all the way back there, and you're still taking finasteride and Rogaine and pills, and you're doing a little derma roller, and you're doing a little bit of lavender and rosemary oil, and you're doing all these kind of things that you see in all these home remedies, and you're telling me that that's being strong as a man. No, because like what Shorty says, and this is a girl right here, what Shorty says right here, for one, yeah, everybody can't hop on a plane to go to Turkey, which, you know, that's neither here nor there. But what she says right here, moreover, it's more attractive when you just accept it. The attraction comes from the internal confidence that you get as a man when you really cut your hair off and you say, I just can't do it anymore. I don't need to. I'm done. I'm done with the fighting. I'm done treating myself like this. There has to be another layer of myself that's deeper than these 5 hair strands that I'm holding on to in my head. So I get it. Bro got deep cut waves. If you look in this, he got them waves on there. So, you know, the fact that he's tuned into this one, maybe he's going through some balding. But what I find too, to be honest with you guys, we're speaking legit, and I want you to give me your real opinion. There's men out there that aren't even balding to the length of that I was going through when I was balding. You can check the record. I don't even have to talk too much about it. I talked about it on the last video, but you can see where I came from. There's men out there that ain't even going through what I went through, and they're still tore up about it. I'm talking about internally tore up. And these are the guys that brush their hair too much, right? They brush their hair a lot. But what happens is when you brush your hair that much, you start getting that separation. It's like a little circle in the back of your head. Because what happens, and most guys don't know this, but it's the way they brush their hair. Mostly all guys, we brush our hair, we brush the top. We're talking about black guys with waves and stuff. We brush the top forward. We brush the side down. And then we brush the back of our head, we brush that down. What happens is that most guys, they don't even cover that. It's like a small section where your waves separate, where you can see the waves going that way, the waves going that way, and the waves going that way, and the waves going back. That section, what I'm noticing, with guys that are really balding, and they're not going through it yet, but they tore up about it, like they all the way going through it, is that the first part that starts to go is that little circle area in the back. And that's because they're separating their hair. So you have to think about it multiple times a day. Most of these guys are brushing down, forward, back, side, side. There's a small little circle up there that they're not even getting. They don't even realize they're not getting it, because I understand when I used to have it, right? It's like a little boom, boom. You're not even thinking about that small circle. Now, I didn't rock the waves all the way. I went to the curly hair, so it stopped. But I still notice it with guys that rock the waves. So what I'm saying is, bro, you might not even be fully going through real balding. And this is addressed to you and anybody like you that may think like you. You feel me? You may not even be going through full balding. You may not really be balding the way you think. But the fact that you see some skin popping up, you know what I'm saying? The fact you see it a little bit, it probably has you up in arms. And you probably don't understand how somebody like me or somebody else may just say, give up on it. Because for you, it ain't that big of a deal. But what I want you to know, before you start calling people weak and having weak mentalities, understand that your mentality and how you think of your balding progress and progression, your perception of it is a lot different than somebody else and what their perception of their balding journey is. Because that's a journey within itself, and it's not cool. But everybody's going through the same thing here. So this is not a community where we go off and we judge people and call each other weak and have weak mentalities. That's not what we're doing here. It's not what we're doing here. I'm gonna still show love in the comments. Because like I said, I appreciate you guys coming in and showing love, and I'm noticing the real impact that we're having. But my guy, Mr. Manuela Frappe, I like that name, by the way. Look at Abundance 1232. Like I said, moreover, it's more attractive when you just accept it, my boy. If you're in a space where you're not even balding that much, bro, this may not be for you. But I understand us as men, how we react, especially when we see a woman giving balding men surprisingly good advice. I knew that video was going to do good, right? I understand that men are very sensitive about their hair because I was one of them. I was one of them. So before you give up and before you just personally give up on your hair journey, yes, you should fight and find solutions. Because believe that I did not just give up. I didn't. That wasn't the first thing I did, bro. I sat back and I tried to find all kind of solutions for it. I did everything I could do, but nothing worked for me how I needed it to. So I decided to get an SMP after years of it not working. So understand that there may be other people going through similar scenarios, that it doesn't mean that they're weak or they have a weak mentality. They tried everything else. Nothing else worked. So now they're embracing and they're loving themselves. And women they find it more attractive when you truly are embracing and loving yourself. Energy does not lie. You can say you love yourself. You can sit back and act like you good, but until they come up on you and they have that energy, that's why. And I'm gonna end it with this. That's why as men, especially men that are balding, if you're not Andrew Tate or if you ain't got a whole bunch of internet clout, it's going to work a lot better with you and women in person. Because the same woman who says that they don't mess with how you carry yourself or the bald look, that same woman will love your energy and your confidence and how you carry yourself, which in turn will make you look a lot more attractive than somebody else. You can't see energy through dating apps. That's in person. All right. So that's it, man. Big stepper, bro. I appreciate you guys commenting. I've got my spill off, man. I said everything I need to say this morning. So until next time, as always, y'all guys know what to do. Get the stepping, get the stepping, get the stepping.
Like YOLO wanted to tell you, accept yourself. You don't have to prove shit to no one, accept yourself. And if you